And just like that, Stage 2 is officially done for the Blast Austin Major, and we've got some pretty interesting results. First up, Legacy actually went 3-0. One of the worst teams barely made it in just because of a technicality. They're moving on, and a lot of other teams, 3D Max, Lin Vision, FaZe Clan, Furia, Pain Gaming, and Virtus Pro, just to name a few. A couple big notable names going down. We've got M80 and OG, Tyloo also, and Falcon. There's a lot of very interesting things going on here. Obviously, if you want to look at a lot of these statistics, we're seeing very similar results to what we saw in Stage 1 when we're talking about major overall outcomes, such as your maps, such as your weapons. A lot of very similar statistics here, which demonstrates that these are probably most likely going to be consistent moving forward as well. The one even more major difference I want to point out is in the previous Stage 1, we saw about 5% usage for the M4A4. Here, it's almost 2%. It seems like it's dropping, and that's definitely a very telltale sign that something is potentially going to change with this area, because the M4A4 is pretty much useless to the overall game right now. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free $10 on your first trade. It's where I personally sell my skins, because you're going to be getting the highest rate out there. They're offering a maximum amount of money in a minimum amount of time, and it's going to be nearly instant with tons of different payout options. Combine that with their massive marketplace where you're going to be able to buy anything in the entire game you're looking for, with a ton of different deposit options here as well. Right now, this is the #1 place to go ahead and sell or buy skins in my personal opinion, so go ahead, use code MasterShiny and check them out today. Now, there's been a pretty massive change that we really haven't talked about because it's not very noticeable, and that really comes down to currencies. Now, currencies are a very important thing when it comes to getting a huge discount on Steam. It's the reason why we don't have the Turkish lira, the Argentine peso anymore, because they got devalued so much. People are able to exploit them. Right now, we're looking at some updated currencies, and there's some pretty drastic changes. First up, the euro and such like that has gone down in price just because the USD has gotten weaker versus it. However, we've got the full list right here. And as you can see, if you're someone that's on the Indonesian currency, you're going to be getting a potential 6% discount compared to the USD price you should be paying. We've got a 5% discount for China, and we've got a lot of other prices. However, there's some on the more expensive end as well. We're looking at 8% more if you're on the Great British Pound, if you're on the South African currency. There's a lot of differences here, and it's very interesting to see because people don't usually look at this. Now, this can have some pretty drastic impacts when we're talking about investing, just because of the exchange rate that Valve uses to align with $1 USD is the Austin Major capsules right here. As we can see, these are all the prices, and obviously if we want to look in the past, we can see that they differed a lot from the actual main value that we're looking for here. When that discount comes and they go down to 25 cents, how is Valve going to discount these things? It comes out usually with someone being a very significant winner at about a 10% discount just for using their currency, and you've usually got some losers as well, coming in paying around 7 to 10% more. This is what we've seen previously. We don't know if it's going to be exactly replicated. However, it's a huge advantage for people on that specific currency, and sometimes it gets fixed, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the situation. However, this is something that Valve has really struggled with in the past, and it seems like obviously nothing has changed here, because we can see people are getting discounts, people are overpaying. It's not perfect by any means. Talking about that Austin Major investment, things have been absolutely insane. First up, look at the Team Falcons Hollow. It went from $113 down to just $15 in the span of 5 days. Team Falcons completely flopped out. That's the huge risk you run when we're talking about these sticker capsules and these stickers early, is there's a lot of hype behind it and not real actual fundamentals. If we want to look at it overall, the only two capsules sitting near 100% right now are going to be the Legends and the Contenders. Obviously, you've got the Legends autograph as well, but those are a little bit more volatile. I will definitely say still way too early to make any strong investment here. However, there are some hollows that are still extremely expensive if you want to take the risk of opening it, but I just don't think it's smart. If we want to look at what happened to Falcons, prices can crash in just the span of a few days and lose 90% of their value, which is absolutely insane. Now, talking about a case market, things have not slowed down in the slightest, and we got some pretty interesting developments. First up, the Gallery case has jumped up back to 98 cents, or roughly around $1. This is a pretty significant increase considering it is guaranteed profit at this price point. If we want to look at it, the biggest is the Danger Zone case, approaching $2, consistently hitting it. It is finally time for these cases, these cheaper rare cases, to really show off that fundamentals that they've gotten. It's insane, the prices that we're seeing all across the board. The Horizon cases at $225, your Prismas as well. We've got a lot of price points that just seemed unfathomable a year or two ago for these cheaper rare cases. The unboxing numbers for May, I mean, we've just been overall in a perfect position, and honestly, I don't see any reason why any of this is going to be slowing down. The Major going on, the Armory, we've got competition for people unboxing cases, and yet they're consistently still choosing to unbox cases. That is a perfect thing. That is what we want to see, and these more expensive cases as well are a little bit more stable, a little bit less growth, but they're still growing, they're still still in a great development, and we've even got our top tier cases growing a little bit as well. This is a perfect situation overall, and I'm really excited to see it. Now, Valve's got a really interesting predicament when it comes to the Armory. That's because the Armory is starting to flop. Now, if we want to look at the total revenue as of May, we saw $125 million. However, only $3 million of that was for the train. Now, it was newer at the time, but looking at this data right here, we can see that nothing has really changed. The train collection overall is coming in with one of the cheapest prices, demonstrating that the demand is most likely not really there. The ROI on this thing is absolutely abysmal, and we can see overall that the limited edition XM1014 only generated $100,000. The truth is that these things for the Armory right now are really out of interest. The only area that's consistently in interest has been the Fever and the Gallery case, and the Gallery case kind of fell out of interest when the Fever case came in, representing it's just a case that needs to be there, not too much of the specifics. And it's very interesting because Valve has a huge opportunity to capitalize off of this. However, we don't know if they're going to, and just keep the Armory stagnant. Now, talking about something in a very similar space, we've got the agent market. Now, the agents are a very interesting area. That's because obviously we have not seen any brand new agents come into the game, and that has led the previous agents to rise significantly in price because 1, they're all discontinued, 2, they're all a finite resource, and 3, they're increasing in demand because more people are coming in to play the game. Now, this has led to some pretty massive price spikes nearly all across the board because it makes sense. Obviously, there are not enough agents to go around, and therefore the prices are going up for the people that really want an agent right now. With that being said, I definitely struggle with an investment like this. First up, they're up significantly overall, and therefore we're investing at a higher price point, but more so, the agent market as a whole is very susceptible to new incoming supply. If we want to look previously, we've seen significant drops in price when new agents get released. Now, these agents have recovered long term, but that's honestly, in my opinion, just because there hasn't been a significant influx of brand new agents consistently coming in. I think these agents that are out there right now are probably going to be increasing in price long term, but I honestly don't think it's going to be worth the risk. I think there is a possibility we do get new agents in the future, new CS2 agents. Maybe they look better, maybe there's just a lot more coming in, and we're going to have to see then how the agent market adapts to a ton of new supply coming in, because I don't think it's guaranteed to go one way or the other. Now, unfortunately for anyone that was looking to make an investment into the major capsules for Paris, you probably are already at a loss. Even if you bought them at 11 cents, they're back down to like 9 cents with a buy order. It's just a situation of, honestly, I think these capsules need so long to recover, and they need so much demand that I honestly don't know if we're going to be able to see that in a reasonable time frame. Once again, very hard investment to go ahead and try and turn a profit on. I would highly suggest you stay away from this. There are some other major capsules investments that at least have some potential, but Paris has just been doomed, and I think it's probably going to be continuing on that trajectory. Now, talking about what to watch right now, first up, I would highly suggest you keep watching everything for the Austin Major. Look at the teams that are doing well, but more importantly, be there when that 75% off sale hits. We've got a little bit yet, but still, it's a very crucial opportunity where we're talking about some free money. Otherwise, that case market is always a great opportunity to look at. That's all I got with. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your